might be my favorite Nick Cage character. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of That Cybert channel. I'm Dan Cybert.
And I'm TheGameSalmon. People, I have thoughts.
I too have thoughts. A couple weeks ago, Willy's Wonderland dropped in theaters and on streaming services. And I was a little bit skeptical. Well, after sitting down and watching the thing, really quick spoiler for the rest of this video, I think I might have a favorite Nick Cage movie now.
This movie is, second spoiler alert, a fantastic B-movie horror film.
But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's take a moment and talk about the history of the movie. Right after I solve this Blair Witch mystery.
Start ad!
Do you like... Hold up, this music doesn't work. Jericho! Ah! Much better. God, thanks. Do you like mysteries? Do you like horror? Do you like true crime? Well, then you might like today's sponsor, Hunt a Killer. I don't need to remind you about how leaving your house is not a great idea. Well, while we're still stuck at home, getting to an escape room just isn't something that can be done. Oh no, wait. What's this on my doorstep? That's right, it's an escape room in a box. Very nice. Hunt a Killer is essentially an entire escape room brought to your door. Inside each box, you'll find a load of realistic evidence, maps, police reports, and more to give you your own horror experience in your own living room. Each box is a part of a 6-part season. Right now, Hunt a Killer has teamed up with Lionsgate to bring the Blair Witch to your home. Wait, they did what? You'll be able to slowly put together the history of the Blair Witch by sifting through documents, audio recordings, and unsettling puzzles. If you sign up now, you can join the hunt to solve the disappearance in Brooketsville. I probably said that completely wrong. Simply head to huntakiller.com/cybert and use code CYBERT to get 20% off your first box. It's the perfect thing for quarantine and a great gift for someone who loves solving a good mystery, and the best way to bring the Blair Witch into your home. That came out wrong. That can't be good.
End ad!
Well, now that the Blair Witch is on the way to your house...
Wait, what?
Let's talk about Willy's Wonderland. Released on February 12th, 2021, Willy's Wonderland is actually based off a short film by G.O. Parsons, the writer, from 2016.
Parsons would go on to write a feature-length version and passed it to a casting director. It was then passed to Nick Cage's manager, who passed it on to Cage himself. 2 days later, Nick Cage had signed onto the script. That is insane.
The film had some trouble finding financing, but Nick Cage believed in this movie so much he would counter with, "No, this is exactly the kind of movie which needs to be made." I couldn't agree more, sir. I could not agree more.
Cage did make quite a few changes to the animatronics. Since Mr. Cage is a huge fan of reptiles, he actually had a few of the characters changed, like Artie the alligator and Tito the turtle being added in. There was also a pirate in the original script, but Nick Cage said, "That's cliched, make it a knight." And look, you don't say no to Nick Cage.
All right, let's tackle the obvious topic, the FNAF comparison. Was it inspired by FNAF? No. Matter of fact, the original concept was most likely started around the same time Scott was planning Five Nights. Parsons says most of his inspiration comes from 90s B horror movies, especially those with haunted toys. But that doesn't mean he hates the comparison.
There's McDonald's and there's Burger King, and they're both awesome. 7-Eleven, and Circle K, 7-Up, Sprite. We could do this all day, you know? The thing is, they're both awesome, so enjoy them both. There's no reason to hate one or the other. Just enjoy them, guys.
That right there is what you love to hear. If there's anything to take away from the history of this movie, it's that when Nick Cage gets involved, you got a movie.
Now, I went back and forth on how I want to cover this movie, and as much as I'd like to walk you through it like I did with the Doom movie, I think they get it. Well, anyway, I don't want to ruin the journey for you, so we're proud to announce this review is spoiler-free!
Sort of.
Sort of. It's sort of spoiler-free. Start the review!
You know what time it is? It's birthday time! It's your birthday and we want you to have fun.
Our story begins with a delightful song, immediately followed by these two poor souls being hunted by animatronics.
Not even 5 minutes into the movie and we already have 2 on the rip counter.
I don't think there's any better way to start this movie. No need to try to shroud this movie in too much mystery. We all know what this movie's about. I know what this movie's about. Sam knows what this movie's about.
I do. Jericho also knows what the movie is about.
What? I don't. I've been running my coffee shop in Minecraft like 24/7. I don't got time for movies. Hi, welcome to Bob's Big Bean, where we're off the bean if you know what I mean. How can I help you?
So let's start with the overall movie and then work our way in. This movie really doesn't try to hide what it's supposed to be. This is a movie about Nick Cage tearing apart animatronics in classic B-horror style. So you know,
Chef's kiss. If you're familiar with Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead, it feels a lot like that. Not only in style, which we'll touch on later, but it almost parodies the genre so well that it actually makes an excellent entry.
just everything in this movie screams 80s and 90s B-horror movies. You've got all the characters that make all of the wrong decisions, the sinister conspiracy backstory, and of course the body count.
And yet, despite hitting all of the tropes, it does such a great job standing out as not just another horror movie. At this point, it's time to get down to the specifics, because we can't talk about how this movie is unique without talking about the style of this movie.
You can tell when a production crew is having fun when you look at the cinematography and editing. And my god, did this crew have a good time putting this together.
The movie takes place in basically two places, inside Willy's Wonderland and outside of Willy's Wonderland. This is reflected a lot in how this is shot. Most of the camera angles outside of the restaurant are standard shots. Singles, wides, dialogue, all aren't anything weird or exciting.
However, once you get inside of Willy's Wonderland,
Dutch angle, Dutch angle, Dutch angle. Long shot to build tension. Dutch angle, low Dutch angle, high Dutch angle, extreme close-up of my eyes, extreme close-up of a very irritated Jerica.
now, if I have any criticism, it would be that this movie sometimes has a little bit too much fun at times. You can really see this in the contrast between the calm and the action.
During dialogue and Nick Cage cleaning, shots are slower and longer, even if they're at the Dutch angle. But when we hit action, the camera shake becomes extreme, quick smash cuts between moments, and tons more lighting effects. Most of the time it works really well, but the action shots can get a bit too chaotic. Never enough to be a major problem.
You can tell that the camera and lighting team were on the same wavelength the entire shoot. The lighting in this movie feels like it's on a totally different level. Everything inside Willy's really embraces the concept of Wonderland, with vibrant colors that really highlight the playful nature of this place, while still making it a place where the bodies can hit the floor.
But of course, all the components wouldn't be anything if it weren't for the editing. Oh no. Dan's gonna talk forever on this point. Well, better grab a snack.
Wait, is this a Cyber Channel video where I actually get to talk about editing? Oh, what a day it is to be alive!
I want it to end. Oh wait, is this the first time you get to see future Dan on camera? Yay! What do you mean, error?
Okay. The editing in the movie, it's fantastic. Just all of Post did a great job with this movie. A matter of fact, besides Nick Cage, this might be the strongest part of the film. It's an easy thing to mess up with these action horror type movies. Like in the Doom movie, you'd have these long, boring cuts of exposition scenes followed by 30 seconds of frantic cuts in a dark corridor. For the record, we're not showing the movie because they claim my last video. I'm not risking Universal profiting off my criticism and hard work.
The pacing of this movie is great. It slows down in all the places it matters and picks up as Nick Cage ruins haunted animatronics' faces. Each scene doesn't overstay its welcome or happen so quickly that you wonder what the heck just happened. Though you'll probably be asking that question after each glorious animatronic kill.
The sound design is also simply fantastic. Every punch, every move, anything sounds so impactful. Don't get me wrong, when you watch it, you'll notice how exaggerated all the sounds are, but it plays into the tone of this movie. Everything is totally overplayed, and in turn, every sound is played up to emphasize how insane this movie is.
The music is absolutely ridiculous in this movie as well. They somehow managed to mix punk rock, country, and children's music into something that plays really well. I never thought my favorite action music would be head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
I think one of my favorite aspects of the editing, though, is the color correction. Outside of the restaurant, it's pretty standard horror. Low saturation, brightness capped off, a general wash of individual colors. But then once we're inside, all the colors. Taking advantage of all the lighting, the editing team enhances a lot of the Wonderland feel without losing the horror feel or making it so dark you can't see what's happening.
Okay, let's move on before Dan starts going off about some ridiculous editing rant.
I mean, it really all comes down to the shadows and highlights. Like you create the deep contrast, but you don't lose all the details.
Okay, well, let's talk about the main attraction to this movie, the characters. I know you want us to talk about Nick Cage's character, but let's just set that aside because there's a lot to that.
And every cut is just so...
Dan! We're moving on to character.
What? Oh. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's talk a little bit about the writing and acting with the characters. To start, it's worth talking about the side characters because if there was a flaw in this movie, it would be them.
I'll boldly say it. The teenagers were completely pointless. They literally existed only to be points on Willy's KD ratio. They make every single wrong decision. Something bad is going on. Well, let's split up. Evil animatronics are singing. Let's stand as close as possible. Most of the early kills were in the super happy fun room. Let's sneak off and, oh god, okay, demonetize the video. Yep, that's the best way to put it.
The adults are a little better. The mechanic and owner do a decent job setting up Nick Cage. They're pretty entertaining as well.
I ain't going in there.
The sheriff and this other police officer, though, they're not great. Trying not to spoil anything here, but the sheriff's motivations in this are questionable at best. It doesn't make sense why she doesn't join the cage when he ends up taking out multiple haunted animatronics. And this other officer acts as the moral compass, but eventually just gets yeeted.
Liv is definitely a bit better. She is definitely the character that reacts a bit more like a rational person. On top of that, she has an origin story that ties her to everything, but it really isn't explored to its fullest here.
The side characters' acting is fairly decent. It's definitely B-level acting for most of them, with really only the other police officer being especially cringe.
To set things right. That's what I'm goddamn gonna do, you'll see.
Though they're definitely written a little on the one-dimensional side, but again, most just serve to remind us about the danger.
Now let's take a moment to talk about the animatronics themselves. Some of the actors in their respective costumes made a definite effort to act animatronic-like, but others definitely moved exactly as you would if you were in a hot mascot trying to game over some teens. I know, a bit nitpicky, but dang it, I've stared at so many animatronics at this point. Sonic animatronics, Mario animatronics, SpongeBob, Mickey, Wario, Minions!
I know, man. I'm sorry.
Minions, Dan! I've looked at Minions animatronics!
I know, you said.
What's next, Dan? Pokemon? Oh wait, I probably have. Oh god!
Calm down, buddy.
Where are we gonna draw a line in the sand, Dan? When are we gonna say enough is enough? Dan, you have to make it stop!
I can't!
Then we're all doomed.
But at least these animatronics get destroyed by Nick Cage.
That does make me feel much better.
Despite the movements, the animatronics are really well done. So much effort went into them to make them appear creepy, which is why they only made one of each. That's right, they only had one costume for each character, which means they only had one chance. The director Kevin Lewis said, once Nick destroyed it, it's over.
Which brings us to the janitor, aka Nick Cage. This is easily the best part of the entire movie. One thing that the movie makes clear, no one knows the janitor's deal. Heck, I'm convinced not even the janitor knows the janitor's deal.
Throughout the entire movie, Nick Cage doesn't say a single line of dialogue. He is a completely silent character, only getting out grunts like our favorite green tunic hero. I'm convinced that only Nick Cage was capable of pulling this role off. Every move he does is so deliberate, and even the slightest movements say so much.
You willing to work it off?
Goosebumps. Goosebumps as far as the eye can see!
The janitor has so much character for someone who can't talk. Nothing is more evident than his breaks. The janitor was written as a character that's there to do his job and get out. And that's exactly how he treats it. It's a job, everything. From cleaning up the restaurant to cleaning up evil animatronics. Since it's a job to him, he scheduled himself 10-minute breaks, which he takes no matter what he's doing. Now that's a man that lives by a code.
However, on his breaks, we get the most Nick Cage moments in the entire film. Anyone that's seen this movie knows what I'm talking about, the pinball machine.
People, find someone that looks at you the same way Nick Cage looks at this pinball machine.
The pinball machine, changing of the shirt, and Punch Cola are just a handful of small ongoing jokes in the movie, and each one is glorious. But nothing, and I mean nothing, is more glorious than the pinball machine dance. Something so epic, you really need to see it for yourself. I am not going to show it here. If you're wondering, was it scripted? No, that's just Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
If you were to sum up this entire movie, it all ends at the janitor. That's not to say the other parts of the movie weren't well done. It's just that everything in the movie is used to enhance the janitor.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
Heck, you could have called this movie The Janitor. Nick Cage gives an absolutely incredible performance. The movie was shot to bring out the Cage Rage. Actual term used on set, by the way, and the editing enhances every fight the janitor has.
At the end of the day, this is a movie all about the janitor cleaning up an abandoned restaurant, and boy does he.
This is my new favorite Nick Cage movie. It is so over the top that you can't help but cheer Nick Cage on as he rips out another animatronic spine.
Is the movie perfect? No. But is this movie the exact good time that we needed in 2021? Absolutely.
Now, if we could only channel the janitor every time we play a FNAF fan game.
Have you tried?
Huh. I guess I haven't.
Oh, I guess it doesn't work. Go to end card, I guess.
Thank you everyone for watching. A huge thanks to the GameSalmon for collabing with me, Jericho for the editing help, and of course, Alyssa Be Crazy for her camera work. A special thanks to Q, Raya Sunshine, and all these channel members. You are great. You can also join these fine members by hitting the join button down below. And hey, Alyssa and I are starting a podcast all about being a creator. If you want to know what it's like to be a creator or want to get to know us a little more, follow me on the socials for updates. First episode will be live on Twitch, so make sure you follow me there, turn on notifications, and then released wherever. I'm not sure. I have to set up that part yet. Either way, until next time, Cybert out.